Okay, so here I'm going to explain why I think this guy, Hustle Bitch, who made this video about the chili fires, is doing a disservice and trying to suppress the knowledge and understanding of what I call plasma fire. Starting with the thumbnail image that he used here, which includes Klaus Schwab back there in his suit. The words are escaping me right now. Joe Biden with his laser eyes and the 5G LED streetlights. What he's doing is effectively combining so many data points that it doesn't make a dot-to-dot picture. It just creates a hodgepodge of theory. A lot like Alex Jones, it's making the frogs gay! When he's talking about bisphenol A, estrogen mimicker chemicals, atrazine, any one of these things taken by itself, there is factual evidence to it. But if anyone has seen this Hustle Bitch video, and then I bring up something to them about plasma fire, like the melting temperature of glass being 2,800 degrees and a forest fire only hovering around 1,400 degrees, they say, oh, and I'll bet you're worried about the 5G LED, the mind control sound waves, and the sea turtles that can't find their way back to the sea, huh? Because he has associated the facts with the fiction and the theories. There is enough evidence around plasma fire that science itself needs to be rewritten. The laws of thermodynamics are completely violated. The evidence of these fires stands in defiance of the laws of physics, and the scientific community needs to rewrite many of their textbooks and manuals to accommodate for the evidence, the proof. There is no need for theories. But that's exactly what he starts out with, is the theories, that line, all of those dots connected on the wall with the push pins. They wrap the truth of the facts of the evidence in all of these theories.
The theory is that the U.S. government was using direct energy weapons to purposefully start these forest fires to clear out towns or for some other nefarious reason. Disaster capitalism.
Okay, so it's provable that when there's a presentation like this where he crams so much gobbledygook from 35 different conspiracy theories, wraps them all into one big shit stew, the only thing people ever remember is the first thing you tell them and the last thing that you tell them. So the first thing was, the theory is that it's the American government doing this for nefarious purposes. We need no theories. Show them the evidence. The trees burning from the inside, it's very simple. It's electricity based. He took something that's very simple and easy to demonstrate. You don't even have to, like I said, fuck what you heard, believe what you see. And I can show you these trees are burning from the inside. I can show you that when it hits an urban area, it burns the houses all the way to the ground and leaves the trees in between them standing. We need go no further than that. Let the evidence speak for itself. Instead, they wrap it in all these theories, and right off the bat, the theory is that the American government did this for nefarious purposes and disaster capitalism. This is doing a disservice. And so I will say this right from the beginning also. If you can see what they're doing as a good thing, if your sentiment about what they're doing is that they are doing a good thing and a good service to humanity, this is also a public service that they are performing, you will be able to see it more easily. And if I remember that, I will be able to make this presentation more clearly without getting wrapped up and emotionally pissed off that they are undermining my 6 years of effort of bringing awareness to this thing that I call plasma fire. They are making sure that that awareness does not spread by wrapping it in all of the most craziest harebrained theories under the sun and giving it the Alex Jones effect, making sure that they associate it with so many other wild and crazy things. Like one of the things they're about to show you is mind control using sound waves. What the fuck does that have to do with the fires in Chile? So if you can see what these guys are doing, like I said, I've said it before, and I'm not just talking, and it's not just sour grapes. People like Chalk Body Outline and EBT who suppress the truth about plasma fire have done a good service for humanity because the people themselves are like animals and they are easily spooked. Did you see how they reacted to C-19? At the very beginning, it was proven they will go to fight each other over rolls of toilet paper. When they get spooked and they think something's happening, they panic. And so we must keep them in the dark. It is absolutely imperative to keep these people in the dark. They will stampede. They will turn on each other. You must save them from themselves. In order to save them from themselves and their animalistic behavior that they will resort to, as soon as they think there's a toilet paper shortage, there's people getting in fistfights in the parking lot over the last rolls of toilet paper. What do you think they're going to do if they find out the trees are burned from the inside and it's a natural phenomenon and the governments have no control over any of it? The people themselves will become unruly, ungovernable, and they will destroy themselves. So to save them from themselves and their own animalistic behaviors, it is better for all of them that we keep them in the dark and unaware of what is happening in the nature of the situation. Thus, people like Chalk Body Outline and EBT and all of the other institutions that have kept a lid on this, and that includes all of the institutions, governments, media, institutions of higher education, police departments, fire departments, presidents, prime minister, politicians, all of them have been in a united front, all on the same page, marching to the same beat in lockstep. Silence about the plasma fire phenomenon. Keep the people in the dark. If they find out, they will stampede. The human livestock are better off if we keep them in the dark. We are better stewards and caretakers of them if we keep them in the dark. And when you can see this side of it, you will more easily be able to see that, oh yeah, EBT and Chalk Body Outline, they're definitely COINTELPRO, counterintelligence propaganda. This guy, oh yeah, he's definitely making sure that this theory, this idea, this understanding about plasma fire that I can show you very easily, simple, straightforward. It's electricity based. When it hits a forest area where there's no cars and houses, it burns the trees on the inside. When it hits an urban area, it burns the houses and cars to the ground in ways like we've never seen and reaches temperatures unlike anything we've ever seen and leaves the trees alone. Go no further. Fuck what you heard, believe what you see. Look at the melted rims right next to the trees with unburnt leaves all over them. So, it is a service this guy is doing by wrapping that simple, straightforward truth that can be given to people very easily by someone like me who shows them this truth. It is a service he is doing for humanity to wrap it in all of this gobbledygook bullshit. You cannot take a drink from a fire hose. You can take a drink from a drinking fountain that chokes it down to enough that you can digest and intake. Even a high-power garden hose turned up to full blasts you in the face with too much to actually take a drink of, much less a fire hose which just blasts you in the face so hard that there's no way you can actually ingest and digest the water. That's what they do when they wrap the truth about plasma fire in every crazy harebrained conspiracy theory under the sun. So this video is titled about the Chile fires and Lahaina, how they're connected. So the base of this video is supposed to be about the fires that I call plasma fires, and then he wraps it in every other harebrained conspiracy theory under the sun when there is no theory necessary. The evidence speaks for itself, and it stands in defiance of the laws of physics and the laws of thermodynamics so stark that it requires the scientific community to rewrite and revise their understanding of thermodynamics and rewrite some of their textbooks because these fires do not follow the laws of thermodynamics and fire as we understand it. Let's move on.
What is it exactly? Well, it's the exploitation of natural or man-made disasters, such as catastrophic weather events, war, epidemics, etc., in service of capitalist interests. We've seen what's happened in Lahaina, Maui, and we'll be revisiting that in the future. Trust me, we have not forgotten. But for this video, we're zooming in on Chile and the fires there. As always, I want to present the following information to you and have you make your own educated determination as to what is actually happening.
I've already said the blue things didn't burn is a blue herring. It is much more, even if it's true, and they don't say that it's true, they imply it, and they let you fill in the blanks. They let you feel like you're really smart. Side note, Carol, Never Lose Truth, she said red is the new blue. Now it's red things that aren't burning. And she didn't like me kicking her pet theory so much that when she covered the chili fires, she didn't say plasma fire and she didn't say Jeff Snyder 2's channel like she did in every other instance where she covered these plasma fires, and says he has a much better understanding of this than I do, and a way of explaining it that, here, go over to his channel. I'll drop the link in the description. She don't do that no more. She tried to cover her 10 minutes of coverage for the chili fires without saying plasma fire, without saying Jeff Snyder 2, because she's butthurt and she's got some sort of grievance about something I said that I shouldn't have said, or something that I didn't say that I should have said. Maybe when I say I'm the only one out here who can see this. That's another way of downplaying it, giving it 10 minutes of coverage and then moving on to something else as if it's no more or less important than all the other bullshit that you cover. We'll talk about that another time. That's equating it as if it's no more or less important than these other 35 theories we're going to talk about and wrap it in during my 2-hour presentation. I'm going to give it 10 minutes and move on. Oh, so it's no more, okay, well, she's not any more worried about this or concerned about that than these other things like chemtrails and everything else. I'm going to move on and try not to get pissed off. My point is, they throw in the blue herring. A red herring is what causes a person to come to false conclusions and make false assumptions about a subject matter, mislead them in the wrong direction when they are trying to discover the truth or investigate a subject matter. Blue things didn't burn is a red herring.
Chile is a notorious testing ground for the World Economic Forum and their plan for
the World Economic Forum and their plan for the New World Order, the Illuminati. So Klaus Schwab in his Dr. Evil suit on the thumbnail cover, along with Joe Biden and his laser eyes, and these 5G LED streetlights that are used for mind control, are just some of the dot-to-dot points that they include. So a dot-to-dot picture is where you can connect all the dots and see a pattern and a bigger picture. But like we saw in that first image, all of those pinpoints on the wall with the threads connecting them all did not create a picture. It created a gobbledygook, a bunch of data points, and then you connect them all together and you don't create a pattern that you can recognize in an image. Is what this guy does. He just throws together a bunch of conspiracy theory shit stew, wraps it around, and he throws in some facts about the fires, like the melting point of glass and the temperature of forest fires, and then he throws in a bunch of other shit like sound waves for mind control and chemtrails and the Illuminati and the World Economic Forum and the New World Order.
World Order.
Back when I first became owner of Mint Mobile, I promised...
Chile is a notorious testing ground for the World Economic Forum and their plan for the New World Order. The WEF has said it out loud that they want us under control.
As you can see, we're only 1 minute and 6 seconds into his 10-minute presentation. He's already covered the New World Order and the World Economic Forum. And they want us under control. The World Economic Forum have already said they want us under control. Mind control using sound waves. So when I try to present someone with the facts about plasma fire, like the melting point of glass and the forest fire only reaching half that temperature, they say, oh, and I'll bet you believe that the New World Order wants to mind control us all with sound waves, and that's just in the first minute. By the end of this, he's covered everything from chemtrails to LED streetlights and 5G, and the poor sea turtles can't find their way to the sea. Conflating the facts of plasma fire with the theory is that the American government is doing it for nefarious purposes.
We've seen the many suspicious fires in food production plants and the increase in environmental disasters. What was going on in Chile before the fires and before the destruction broke out that wreaked havoc, leaving 131 dead and over 300 people missing? Chile holds the world's largest reserve of lithium. Before the fires broke out, they announced their plan to nationalize their lithium industry.
This is more conflating things. We don't need to know who's doing it or what their motivations are or what the end goal is and who they're associated with and these theories about why they would do it. Simply present the people with the fact that this fire is electricity based and defies all the laws of physics and thermodynamics as we know them, and let them go from there. This is like when you're trying to educate the general public about basic stuff, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and you flood them with trigonometry and calculus. This is all music to the ears of the conspiracy theorists. They're riffing on a guitar and hitting all those sweet notes that the conspiracy theorist loves to hear about. They're like, the lithium is the new oil, and the World Economic Forum, and Joe Biden, and Klaus Schwab, and 5G. This is all music to the ears of the conspiracy theorist, which is why the average person takes it all and throws it away. Because they wrap the truth about plasma fire in all of that bullshit gobbledygook that appeals to the conspiracy theorist, but repels the average person. Who do you think the people in Chile would rather appeal to? 8 billion people that are unaware, just give them the basic facts about these fires and how they do not work like normal fires and how they are electricity based? Or a few 100,000 fucking conspiracy theorists? Because I know some of you are going to go, well, he tried to be an all-inclusive and make an all-encompassing video and tie it and connect all the dots. Bullshit. This is intentional to drown out the truth about plasma fire that is simple and straightforward. It only requires a person to show a few basic facts. Let the general people catch up to Plasma Fire 101, and then they can go from there with these all-encompassing, the theory about everything, grandiose delusions. Because that's what this guy weaves together and weaves it all around. The fires in Chile and the fires in Lahaina.
Okay, so Chile has the lithium, which is leverage in a new world order that is less dependent on fossil fuels and more dependent on electric vehicles, etc.
That's the second time he said, New World Order. So long as you just keep saying New World Order enough while you're showing and talking about the fires, the next time someone like Jeff comes along and shows someone the truth about these fires, they're like, oh, you're one of those New World Order tinfoil hat guys. Yeah, that's what this is. It's COINTELPRO, counterintelligence propaganda, where you hijack a thought, a hashtag, a meme. Like sending some guys in to the MAGA rally with the pro-Trump supporters, the red, white, and blue patriot Americans. Call them Patriot Front. This is a real group. And they're actually feds, and everyone knows it. And they're sent in to blend in with the patriots in the Trump rallies and the MAGA movement and go, yeah, MAGA, America first, hi, hell, Hitler. And the guy, wait a minute, what? Who the fuck is this guy? What is that shit you just said about hi, hell, Hitler? We're not into that. Anyone know this guy? Who came here with this guy? Who do you know here? These guys don't know anyone here. They're actually feds dressed up as patriots, calling themselves the Patriot Front. They associate and they tag on to your movement, and then they associate other things with it, like hi, hail Hitler. So then the general public, the MAGA people already know that's not us. But CNN and MSNBC now report on those guys that are in the Patriot group with the MAGA rally, with the Trump supporters saying hi, hail Hitler, and now all you see on TV is white supremacists, white nationalists in the Trump movement. All those MAGA guys are white nationalists and white supremacists. Here's a couple of them saying, hi, hail Hitler, MAGA, MAGA. They associate this word, this idea of hi, hail Hitler, white nationalist, white supremacist with the Patriot movement. Here, they associate all of the New World Order conspiracy theories with plasma fire so that the general public will dismiss it and not become aware of and educated about it. And if you can remember, they're doing a service. Yes, it pisses me off for undermining my 6 years of effort to try and bring awareness to this, but if I would have succeeded, we'd all be fucked. So these guys that have suppressed this knowledge are doing a great service to society by keeping everyone in the dark. And if you're sentimental in that way about this, rather than, ooh, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see, yeah, he's an agent. He's definitely an agent. He's an operative. He's doing exactly what you're showing and telling. But if you see what he's doing as a bad thing, it'll be more difficult for you to recognize it. No, he's probably not an agent. He's probably well-meaning, good guy, just like us. He just got a little carried away.
Hold a microscope to this. Question: who owns the Chilean lithium mines? Currently, only 2 companies mine lithium in Chile. The Chilean firm SQM, which is nearly a quarter owned by a Chinese company, and the other company is the U.S. chemical company Albemarle. Albemarle is the world's largest lithium producer and is the largest provider of lithium for electric vehicle batteries in the world. Okay, so who owns Albemarle? Oh, I bet you can guess.
Are you a B2B company?
Okay, so who owns Albemarle? Oh, I bet you can guess. The largest shareholders include Vanguard Group, BlackRock, and State Street. It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
To the conspiracy theorist, he goes, yeah, that sounds familiar. BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard. I know the names of those companies. Those are part of all my other conspiracy theories. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? This is all just riffing sweet musical tunes that's music to the ears of the conspiracy theorist, wrapping plasma fire facts within every conspiracy theory under the sun.
If you remember, the second largest landowner in Maui is Alexander and Baldwin. And on a previous video, we discovered the investors behind Alexander and Baldwin were none other than BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, the exact same 3.
Ken, it's great to see you. How can you have clarity through 2027? What about a recession?
Well, we continue to have volume growth.
And in terms of as you look to benefit from the surge in prices, your targets released earlier today show that at the high end, you expect to more than triple output by the end of this decade.
I'm looking at the prices from January of 2020 to January of 2023, and the gains in prices, if I'm reading the chart right, are just astronomical.
Now, prior to the destruction, the former Chilean president decided to give control of the lithium operations to the state. Many people didn't like this, and they called it a big mistake. This move would prevent outsiders from being able to benefit from the control over the precious resource. Keep in mind, the highest value battery metal is lithium. It's the new oil, basically. Albemarle said, quote, "This is the lithium that powers the world." The media reported the announcement as a nationalization, which means a transfer of ownership from private to government control. Here in the US, you may have seen and certainly felt the push to go all electric. As a free trade partner with the US, Chile stands to benefit from President Joe Biden's green stimulus program, potentially increasing demand for its lithium. Just days before the fires, the energy institutions held their conference at Viña del Mar, Chile on January 14th through the 17th. Where are the Smart City business headquarters? Well, they're also in Viña del Mar, Chile. Then, right after that, the president of Chile died in a helicopter crash on February 6th. He was the one that wanted the Chilean government to hold the power to the lithium and not let others have it. Outside of that, there are just way too many similarities between Maui and Chile, from all of the missing people, to the look and feel of the destructive fires, to the suspicious names with ties to the land or the resources. The similarities are just too blatant to ignore. Could they really be acquiring some of the most valuable land on Earth by creating disasters to kill off people or by destroying their homes so they can't move back? Local government using eminent domain to steal the land from the people. Laws are enacted and codes are created to force survivors into smart cities for total control of everyone.
Maui, specifically Lahaina, has been marked, I choose that word deliberately, as a smart city. And here's what's sad. This is textbook. The evil crisis is created, the reaction is controlled, and then the final evil solution is executed. Question: why Maui? Answer: it's a new smart grid in Hawaii dubbed the, quote, Jump Smart Maui Project.
Would devastating fires be a great way to clear all the land? And just like Lahaina, Maui, wouldn't that allow outsiders into Chile to make decisions on how to redevelop all of this burnt land? And we've seen their playbook already. Anytime they want someone's land, they will burn it, flood it, or shake it to oblivion, rehouse the victim somewhere.
So he's also telling you they have earthquake machines.
They're far away until they can rebuild, which will not happen anytime soon. And when it does, it's going into the hands of the Fed, just like they did in Paradise, California, and East Palestine, Ohio. Now remember, people reported witnessing chemtrails above these areas with an aerosol accelerant.
Palestine, Ohio. So he's associated train derailments now, and he's now going into chemtrails. So the average person of the other 99.99999% of the population who's not a conspiracy theorist has already tuned out before he even gets to the point of telling you the temperature of glass melting and the temperature of forest fires. And he does include some facts like that because he wants those pertinent facts to be wrapped within all this gobbledygook. So when I bring it up to show someone, they associate it with all this gobbledygook and tune out.
Left to run out of aerosol. Keep an eye to the sky today, guys. This is what geoengineering looks like.
This is what COINTELPRO looks like.
This. They are blocking out our sun. Explore the sun.
Then the area is hit with a radiation or laser type weapon that is extremely hot. In fact, hot enough to...
So you think they did this with lasers, you crazy son of a bitch? No, I'm trying to show you that it's electricity-based fire, which is self-evident. I have massive amounts of proof. And I'm trying to show you that it's more than just Paradise and Lahaina and Chile, that I have hundreds of examples of my own, which means there are millions of these fires all across the world, including all of Canada that burned all of last summer. So when I hear people say, oh, Deborah Tavares talks about the fires all the time. Yeah, the 3 or 4 that she knows about, just like a couple of other people. Lasers. Bitch, please. Is there anything he hasn't woven into this yet? Yeah, just wait for it.
Glass and to turn metal appliances into dust. A white-gray dust, which is totally and completely different than a carbon black ash.
That part is true. This is one of the facts they want to weave into there. So when I draw someone's attention to it's all white ash instead of black carbon soot, they go, oh yeah, and you believe in the lasers and the World Economic Forum and the mind control through sound weapons and the LED 5G street lamps and all the rest, don't you? They associate the truth, the facts, with the fiction and the theories when there is no theories necessary. Instead, they've woven together this elaborate concoction of convoluted bullshit to associate and correlate and conflate with the facts.
Which is seen after an organic fire. Wildfires hover around 1,472 degrees, but in order to melt glass, the temperatures have to reach a minimum of 2,700 degrees. Just like we saw happen in Maui, the color blue seemed to avoid being touched by the fires, as you can see here. Alright, here...
As you can see here, he showed you a 3-second video of something that you cannot ascertain anything from. And said, it appears blue things didn't burn, as you can see here.
Reach a minimum of 2,700 degrees. Just like we saw happen in Maui, the color blue seemed to avoid being touched by the fires, as you can see here. Alright, here's where...
It is called confirmation bias. When you latch onto a theory, your preconceived idea sees all of the evidence that supports it and discounts or disregards all of the evidence that goes against your pet theory. Confirmation bias. You see all the evidence that confirms your preconceived ideas, and you discard all the evidence that does not confirm your preconceived ideas. And everyone who's latched onto this shit about blue things didn't burn is disregarding all the blue things that did burn, and all of the things that didn't burn that are all the other colors. They're disregarding all the orange things that didn't burn, and the red things, and the yellow things, and the green things that didn't burn, and they're disregarding all the blue things that did burn. All you have to do is take that into account, and you realize, oh, there's absolutely nothing to this bullshit about blue things didn't burn. Confirmation bias. That's why he doesn't dwell too long upon it. He implies it at the very beginning of the video, shows you a 3-second clip right there. If that's true, then we should all be painting our houses blue. They've gotten people in Chile to actually start painting their fucking roofs blue, based on a 3-second clip here and a 2-second implied inference there. It's bullshit. And people that have latched onto it don't like it when you tell them you got fooled. It's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they have been fooled.
Gets even more interesting. Just before the fires broke out, they held that smart city meeting in Viña del Mar. Chile had deployed the largest amount of smart city applications in all of Latin America. They had also just converted over 45,000 public streetlights, switched over to LED, complete with tracking and remote control. Each streetlight is a transmitter and a receiver.
This is a 5G LED streetlight. You can tell it's a 5G LED streetlight because of the way that it is. It's an LED, and it has 5G.
The household brand Philips was...
Who was that guy, and why did he just make that video? Is he really a utility worker who's a conspiracy theorist? Or is he part of a counterintelligence propaganda agency doing an operation? And that's why he did what he did, said what he said, and dressed up in the costume that he was in.
Switched over to LED, complete with tracking and remote control. Each streetlight is a transmitter and a receiver.
This is a 5G LED streetlight. You can tell it's a 5G LED streetlight because of the way that it is. It's an LED, and it has 5G.
They're trying to damage me so they can win another election.
And it has 5G.
The household brand Philips was founded in the Netherlands in 1891 by Gerard Philips. That was Karl Marx's maternal cousin. Philips is the world leader in lighting and a manufacturer of these smart lights. In 2018, Philips Lighting changed their name to Signify. Signify is a World Economic Forum partner as displayed on the WEF website. On their websites, they talk of capturing real-time and historical sensor data that offer actionable insight on activities and trends in the illuminated environment. Back in 2018, they made headlines such as these. Data is the new lighting as Philips unfurls IoT, Internet of Things platform. All data, all the time. The company's new Interact system continuously collects and analyzes information gathered from lighting and other sources. In the biggest declaration yet that the Internet of Things represents the industry's future, the world's largest lighting company, Philips Lighting, unveiled an IoT platform that turns lighting into a byword for collecting and analyzing data about everything, everywhere. Guess who else just so happened to be slated as the first smart city island?
So he's now associated Plasmafire with everything, everywhere, under the dome of the flat earth. I'm surprised he hasn't woven that into all of his grandiose conspiracy theory of everything, everywhere, with tracking and remote control from the streetlights.
And to have all of their streetlights converted to LED remote-controlled smart lights by Philips. Maui. In fact, the Maui County Department of Public Works was actually sued for violating state law and for circumventing the required environmental review, basically illegally installing the new LED smart lights without any environmental reviews. The evidence showed that the light-emitting diode LED fixtures emitted a high amount of short wavelength blue-white light, which increases the risk to animals. Seabirds, like the endangered Hawaiian petrel and the threatened Newell's shearwater, will circle bright blue-white lights until they fall to the ground from exhaustion or crash into nearby buildings. This type of lighting also disorients the critically endangered hawksbill turtle and threatened green sea turtle, distracting hatchlings from reaching the ocean and diverting adult turtles from nesting sites. I mean, if these lights are doing this to animals, what are they doing to humans? There's just way too much information and simply not enough time to cover it all in one or two videos. So we're going to end this one here with plenty more to come. If you feel I earned it, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts with all of us by leaving a comment in the section below.
So this agent has now latched on to the fires in Chile. Look at the dates. His most recent video was 3 days ago. The one before that was 10 months ago. And before that, it was 5 months of silence. So he made this video titled Breaking My Silence Since the Maui Massacre, talking about how he had been threatened and all this other stuff. And that's why he went away for 5 months. Because he made a few videos during the melee of the Maui fires. And then his handlers told him, okay, shut up for a little while. We're going to let it die down a bit. And then we'll reinsert you back into the truth community. You've already infiltrated them. They believe that you're one of them. You look and walk and talk and act and sound just like them. You have successfully penetrated their groups. You've got street cred. Because before that, still 6 months ago, before that, the only thing he did, his grift, his hustle, bitch, was all about stimulus. Stimulus checks, stimulus checks, stimulus, and more stimulus. It's all about the stimulus checks for this guy. And he's only been around for a couple years. But up until the Maui fire, his one and only subject he ever covered was these stimulus checks, and suddenly he's an expert on every conspiracy theory under the sun that he wove into that grandiose shit that he stew of conspiracy theory that he whipped up and threw in a few facts about into his latest video about the Chile fires. So, Hustle Bitch was all about hustling those scams, the COVID scam, the stimulus checks of the COVID scam. That's what this bitch has been hustling the whole time, up until, starting 3 years ago, right? It's all about the stimulus scam. That was his hustle then. This is the new gig, like Matt from Quantum of Conscience says. That was the old gig. This is the new gig. He went straight from stimulus, right there, 1 year ago, stimulus, and then 6 months ago, there you can see the break. From the one that says the future of student loan forgiveness up to 6 months ago. There's a 6 month gap there, the 1 year and 6 month. Breaking, Donald Trump, something about indictment with a judge, and suddenly he's on to, oh, evil Bill Gates with the holding the syringe there, and Oprah Winfrey investigated for the Maui fires. He went straight from stimulus checks to infiltrating the truther community, ingratiating himself by looking like one of us at the height of the Maui fire melee when everyone was talking about it. He inserted himself. Maybe a lot like Marfugel, who got his foot in the door when there was a fake nuke threat coming toward Hawaii, and everyone in Hawaii jumped in manholes because they got an alert over their phones that said incoming missile, duck and cover. Anyway, that's when this guy was inserted, was during the Maui fires. That's his new hustle. He made all these videos that ingratiated him with the truther community regarding that subject of the Maui fires, and now he's moved on to incorporate the Chile fires, and he was silent for 6 months. between the Maui fires and the Chile fires because his handlers told him, let it die down. We're going to let the whole subject pass over. People are going to stop talking about this. During the height of the conversation about Maui fires, he inserted himself. He waited for it to die down, and he too went away and shut the fuck up so that the subject itself would die down and go away and everyone would move on. Now he's back with the Chile fires. What it means to be a good person? This branch is unburned. These branches are unburned. That's the option you have right now. And I know a lot of the people that watch this channel found the appeal of the way that I allude to Christ, and I've been directly very open and honest with my experience. It was a heartfelt, tear-drenched prayer to Jesus Christ that changed my life. But obviously I've been being prepared for this for much longer than just the last 2 years. Trying to get it to show you that this is flameless. There you go. Kinda. You can see this is unburnt. This is so highly burnt that if there were any flames coming out from here, it would have burned the underside of this. Are you willing to trust your own senses? Are you willing to think for yourself? Are you willing to have a personally relevant and personally meaningful understanding of morals and ethics and a code of conduct which you have derived? You know, that's why so many people in Alcoholics Anonymous get sober. So just remember that right there, that image where you can see it goes from charcoaled tree trunk and then it expands about 8 or 10 inches diameter, and the branches sticking out are completely unburned. Right there. And watch chalk body outline.
That's the option right now.
Zip over this part. When he's pretending to show my content, he gets to this part where that unburnt branch is sticking out of the charcoal tree, and he zips past it real quick because he knows that even by reducing the resolution and the ability to see down to 10%, like he did, when a person sees, wait for it, you'll see it in his video, and he zips past it because he accidentally lands right there, where there's an unburnt branch sticking out of a charcoal tree trunk. And he quickly clicks past that because even reduced down to 10%, a person can see that and go, wait, what the hell? It's electricity going through the tree, not flame. And it's a fine line. It's a fine line right there between burn and unburn. This is one of the proofs, the evidence that rewrites science and thermodynamics of fire as we know it, and proves this is a type of fire unlike anything we have ever seen. This is all that is necessary. Fuck what you heard, believe what you see. And all you have to do to reveal the truth about plasma fire is show some people the evidence. Instead, they want to run their mouth about theories.
You're not a racist. Oh, good. Those churches are as diabolical as you can imagine, and once you see the Christmas psyop alone, proves it. Absolutely proves it. Just like this tree proves it burned flamelessly. You know why? This branch is unburned. All these branches up here are completely unburned. Brown. They're not black, they're brown. The focus isn't helping too much. There you go. Now you can see the brown wood. Not black. It still has the outer bark on it. Unburnt. Right there on the tree. Center screen. You see that unburnt piece of wood right there, center screen? Right there. All these branches that come out are also brown and unburnt. That means this whole tree, look closely, burned without a flame, or those flames would have reached up and burnt those pieces of wood. When you open your mind's eye and you decide for yourself I'm qualified to do this. I'm qualified to think for myself, to interpret what I see. I don't need someone to tell me what it means to be a good person, and that if I do what they tell me to do, then I'll be saved. Because those people, they can't even see what's right in front of their face and do whatever they're told in order to get the validation of their peers, and told that they're a good person for setting their Operation Mincemeat, or for burning some witches, or for breaking some windows and burning down someone's house, and then they'll be told that they're a good person. That's not the kind of people I want to be with. All you have to do, it's the golden rule, do unto others as you would like to have done unto yourself. And that means be the kind of person that you would like to be stuck in a group with other people that are just like you. That's all it takes to be a good person, and that's what's happening right now. And if you're not willing to let go of those groups of those people, then you're going down with the ship. Letting go of those groups of those people who still haven't told you about the plasma fires, who still engage in this Christmas psychological operation every year on the kids to make sure nobody finds Christ, and our trust in our fellow man is shattered when we invest all of our hopes into that psychological operation known as Christmas, and worship the Christ figure right next to the other Christ figure on the same day, and then we're told, no, that one was fake, but the other one's real. If you can now see that, that alone should be enough to let you relinquish your grasp to that group and recognize they were never here to help you. They were never here to help you discover how to be a good person or to get a relationship with Christ, or they would not have allowed that psychological operation to carry on the way they did for generations and generations. One generation is all it would take. If we canceled Christmas this year, 10 years from now, there would be a lot of 10-year-olds who are enrolled in church and recognizing that there is a truth in that story about Christ. But that Christmas psyop makes sure that they don't want to get hurt again. Well, we're coming to the end. This is the end of the road. This is the end of this era. And letting go of those people, some people are going to, oh no, I want to be saved. All I got to do is defend Master's rules like my life depends upon it. And Master says that then I'll be a good person if I just pretend to believe in this thing I don't understand and call it faith. That's the trick. You cannot believe in something you don't understand. It is an oxymoron. And my Zoom's...
If you believe in things that you don't understand, you suffer. Superstition ain't the way.
It's not working now, for whatever reason. Maybe, oh, hold on, there we go. You cannot believe in something you don't understand. That's an oxymoron. And to say that you believe in what I just said, even though you don't understand what it means, and call that faith, we don't need any more of those people. We need a lot less of those people. Because in a world like that, where people seek the approval and validation of others to declare themselves a good person rather than discovering and asserting that I am holy, I don't need some guy that calls himself father or priest to tell me whether or not I'm a good person. I can bless something just as well as he can. That's what Greg Braden said in his video, who more holy than you? I thought only holy people bless things. Who more holy than you? Who have traveled through this world so far, and you can at this point either choose to receive the reward of a lifetime or come back and do it again until you figure out how to be a good person, rather than asking someone else to tell you what it means to be a good person. This branch is unburned. These branches are unburned. That's the option you have right now. And I know a lot of the people that watch this channel found the appeal of the way that I allude to Christ, and I've been directly very open and honest with my experience. It was a heartfelt, tear-drenched prayer to Jesus Christ that changed my life. But obviously I've been being prepared for this for much longer than just the last 2 years. Trying to get it to show you that this is flameless. There you go. Kinda. You can see this is unburnt. This is so highly burnt that if there were any flames coming out from here, it would have burned the underside of this. Are you willing to trust your own senses?
Are you willing to think for yourself? Are you willing to have a personally relevant and personally meaningful understanding of morals and ethics and a code of conduct which you have derived? You know, that's why so many people in Alcoholics Anonymous get sober, is because they allow you the ability to discover God of your understanding without telling you what his name has to be or if it's a guy or a girl. Now watch how quickly CBO clicks past that spot that we were just looking at.
Geomagnetic field of the Earth, the weakening of the geomagnetic field, or some shit like that. I'm sure I don't have it right. But I tried to, like, get him to come on. And he wasn't having it. And to him, though, he says, anyone that doesn't believe this, you're just a fucking paid shill, or apparently you're just an NPC or something if you don't believe that these twigs, because the grass around it is not burnt.
Did you see that?
Dues and shit. Apparently you're just an NPC or something if you don't believe that these twigs, because the grass around it is not burnt.
Watch how quickly he goes right past that. As soon as he accidentally lands on that spot where you can see the unburnt branch sticking out of the burnt tree. Click, click. Oh, quick, get off that shit. When these guys show themselves on the front thumbnail of their video, and it says, controlled demolition of the truth community, and then outlining your enslavement was the part of that title that's been cut off. These two are doing exactly that. That's what they're there to do. Controlled demolition of the truth community. To take these ideas and run them off into the ditch before they get before they get airborne and off the runway and catch some traction in the hearts and minds of people, to try to discredit them and dissuade people from investigating this type of stuff. And they've done a very good job, and they are doing a service to humanity, because the same sheeple that got in fights over missing toilet paper rolls on the shelves at the store would not do very well if they knew the truth about plasma fire. The video that we've been watching with the unburnt branches sticking out of the burnt tree trunks was called Fiery Sermon from the Valley of the Shadow. I will include a link to that video in the description, along with this one that is titled New Samvartica Fire Dynamics, Vaporized Root Systems, Shattered Rocks, Angle of Burn Trajectory. Between these two videos, they're both about a half hour long, there is enough visual evidence you can turn the volume down and not listen to a thing that I'm saying during the video, and get a grasp of what plasma fire is without wrapping it in theories of who's doing it and what their motivations are, and the New World Order and chemtrails and 5G LED and sound waves for mind control, and the sea turtles that can't find their way to the ocean, and the endangered birds and everything else under the Illuminati World Economic Forum New World Order sun. I'm not going to include the links to these because I've gone to way too much time putting links to this music. But Ed Sheeran, I See Fire, and Ed Sheeran, Make It Rain, and Ed Sheeran, You Can't Stop the Rain, is talking about plasma fire. 'Cause I see fire inside of mountains, I see fire burning the trees, and I see fire hollowing souls. Well, I know there may come fire from the sky to refine the purest of kings. And even though I know this fire brings me pain, even so and just the same, make it rain down, Lord. Fill the sky with thunderous applause and let lightning be the veins, and fill the sky with all that they can draw when it's time to make a change. Make it rain. Or 1, 2, 3, do you love me? Watch me scream, burning on the trees in amazement, 'cause I'm on fire. Can I get a little amen for all the bleeding and the praying? Now you can touch it, you can taste it. Taste the smoke. Taste the smoke, this is no joke. 15 years, blood, sweat, and tears in amazement. 'Cause I'm on fire. Or This Kid's Not Alright by AWOL Nation. Soul Wars by AWOL Nation. A lot of these songs talk about this fire. St. Elmo's Fire. This Kid's Not Alright. Soul Wars, they both speak of this fire.